I froze when I saw my brother's hand on my fiancée's face. At first, I thought I was imagining it. But then he kissed her, and she kissed him back. 1 week before our wedding, the two people I trusted most destroyed my life in less than 10 seconds. I thought that moment was the worst betrayal I would ever experience. I was wrong. But before we start today's story, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. My name is Ethan Carter, and I'm 34 years old. The day everything fell apart started like any other Friday. I had left work early because I wanted to surprise my fiancée, Rachel Morgan. Our wedding was only 7 days away. I bought flowers, picked up her favorite coffee, and drove to her apartment with the stupid grin of a man who thought his future was secure. When I arrived, her door wasn't fully closed. I heard voices inside. One of them belonged to my older brother, Tyler Carter. At first, I wasn't worried. Tyler and I had always been close. He was the kind of brother who protected me when we were kids and helped me when I struggled as an adult. The last person on earth I would ever suspect was him. Then I heard Rachel laugh. A soft, intimate laugh. My stomach tightened. I stepped closer, and through the opening in the door I saw them. Tyler holding her face, Rachel staring into his eyes. Then they kissed. The flowers slipped from my hand. Both of them turned. Rachel's face went white. Tyler looked like he'd seen a ghost. "Ethan," Rachel whispered. I couldn't speak. I just stood there, watching my entire future collapse. The wedding was canceled the next morning. My family was shattered. My parents were horrified. Rachel called hundreds of times. I ignored every call. 3 weeks later, Tyler moved in with her. That was all the confirmation I needed. I cut them both out of my life. Completely. For 6 years, I never spoke to either of them. Not once. Eventually, life moved forward. I met an incredible woman named Olivia. We got married. We had a daughter named Emma. For the first time in years, I was happy again. Then one evening, my phone rang. A number I didn't recognize. I answered. "Ethan." The voice instantly froze my blood. "Tyler, after 6 years, what do you want?" There was a long silence. Then he said something I never expected. "Rachel is dead." My heart skipped. I hadn't heard her name in years. "She died 3 months ago," he continued. I didn't know what to feel. Shock, confusion, maybe even sadness. Then Tyler said something stranger. "Before she died, she left something for you."
"I don't want it. You need to see it." "No."
His voice cracked. For the first time in my life, my older brother sounded broken.
"Ethan."
The person who betrayed you wasn't Rachel. I froze. "Please, just hear me out." I hung up. But 3 days later, a package arrived. Inside was a photograph of Rachel standing beside a storage facility. On the back she had written, "If you're reading this, I'm gone. The truth is waiting in Unit 314.
Against my better judgment, I went.
The storage unit looked ordinary from the outside. But inside it wasn't filled with furniture. It was filled with secrets. Boxes, files, videos, journals, and on a small table sat a sealed envelope with my name on it. My hands shook as I opened it. The letter inside was from Rachel. "Ethan, I know you hate me. You probably should. But before you judge everything, please know one thing. Tyler never betrayed you. Neither did I. The day you saw us kissing was planned. Everything after that was planned too."
You deserve to know why. Watch the video. My stomach dropped. Watch the video?
There was only one DVD inside the envelope. I found an old player in the corner of the storage room and inserted it. The screen flickered. Then Rachel appeared. She looked younger, healthier, alive. The sight hit harder than I expected. She smiled sadly into the camera. "If you're watching this, it means I'm gone." I felt my throat tighten. "Ethan, before you turn this off, please listen to everything." The camera zoomed slightly, and what she said next changed everything. 6 years ago, 3 months before our wedding, I was diagnosed with a rare genetic disease. I blinked.
"What?"
Rachel continued. "The doctors told me I would likely survive for years, maybe even decades. But any biological child I had would have a very high chance of inheriting it." I stared at the screen, my mind racing.
I was terrified. Not for myself. For you.
Rachel wiped tears from her eyes.
You always wanted children.
That part was true. I had talked about becoming a father for years.
It broke me knowing I might take that away from you.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. But that wasn't the real shock. Not even close. Rachel took a deep breath. Then the doctors discovered something worse. My pulse quickened. The disease wasn't the biggest problem. She looked directly into the camera. They found a brain tumor. The room suddenly felt smaller. A tumor that was already affecting my judgment, emotions, and behavior. I couldn't move. The prognosis wasn't good. Rachel began crying. I didn't know how to tell you. I sat frozen. Then she said something even more unbelievable. So I told Tyler. I looked away from the screen. "Tyler knew," Rachel continued. "He begged me to tell you the truth."
A new video clip appeared.
Tyler was sitting beside her. Both looked exhausted. Both looked terrified. "I told her this was a mistake," Tyler said on the recording. "I begged her not to do this." Rachel nodded. I know. Then she looked back into the camera. But I couldn't watch Ethan stay with me out of guilt. My chest tightened.
What I decided next was cruel.
The tears in her eyes became uncontrollable. So I asked Tyler to help me make you hate me. My entire body went numb. No way, Rachel continued speaking. I knew if you thought I cheated, you'd walk away. The room spun around me. The kiss, the apartment, the wedding, everything. It was my idea, Rachel whispered. Not Tyler's. I stared at the screen, unable to breathe, unable to think. Unable to process 6 years of hatred collapsing in front of me. Then another recording started automatically. This one was made only a few months before Rachel's death. She looked much older, much weaker, and she was crying before she even began speaking. Ethan, if you're seeing this, it means I ran out of time. My eyes burned. I made the biggest mistake of my life. She wiped away tears. I thought pushing you away would protect you. Her voice cracked. But losing you destroyed me. I felt something inside me breaking. Not anger, not hatred, something deeper. Regret. Years of regret. Then Rachel looked directly into the camera and spoke the words that truly changed everything.
There is one more truth Tyler doesn't know.
My heart stopped. Rachel reached for a folder. The same folder sitting on the table beside me. If you're hearing this, open the blue folder. With trembling hands, I grabbed it. Inside was a birth certificate. At first, it didn't make sense. Then I saw the name, and the world seemed to stop. Father, Ethan Carter. Mother, Rachel Morgan. My hands began shaking violently. I looked back at the screen. Rachel was crying openly now. Ethan, 6 weeks before our wedding, I found out I was pregnant. I couldn't breathe.
What?
The word escaped my mouth before I realized it. Rachel continued. I never told you. The room spun. Pregnant? We had a child? Then where was the baby? Why had nobody told me? Rachel wiped away tears. There's something else inside that folder. My trembling fingers reached deeper and found a recent photograph. A photograph of a little girl about 5 years old, smiling, alive, healthy. On the back, written in Rachel's handwriting, were 6 words. Her name is Lily. She's yours. I dropped into the chair staring at the photo, unable to move, unable to think. Unable to understand how the life I thought I'd lost 6 years ago had suddenly returned in the form of a little girl I'd never even known existed. And then I noticed one final note attached to the photograph. A note that made my blood run cold. It contained only one sentence. Tyler is bringing Lily to meet you tomorrow. I didn't sleep that night.
How could I?
For 6 years, I had believed my fiancée betrayed me. For 6 years, I had hated my brother. And now I had learned something that changed everything. I had a daughter named Lily, a daughter I had never met. Every few minutes, I looked at her photograph again. She had Rachel's smile, but the eyes were mine. Around 3 in the morning, Olivia found me sitting at the kitchen table. I hadn't told her everything yet, only that Tyler had contacted me. She sat beside me quietly. Whatever it is, she said softly, you don't have to carry it alone. For the first time that night, I broke down, and I told her everything. The wedding, the storage unit, the videos, the child, everything. When I finally finished, Olivia just stared at me. Then she reached across the table and squeezed my hand. I think you need answers. The next morning, I waited. Every sound outside made my heart race. Every passing car made me look through the window. Then, shortly after noon, a black SUV pulled into the driveway. My stomach twisted. Tyler stepped out first. He looked older than I remembered. The confident older brother I once knew was gone. His hair was grayer. His shoulders seemed heavier. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then the back door opened, and a little girl climbed out. My daughter, Lily. I forgot how to breathe. She wore a yellow jacket and held a stuffed rabbit. For a second, she looked nervous, then curious. Then she noticed me. Tyler knelt beside her and said something. She looked up at him, then back at me. Slowly, they began walking toward the house. Every step felt unreal. 6 years. 6 years I had missed. Her first word, her first birthday, her first day of school. Moments I could never get back. When they reached the porch, Tyler stopped. Lily stood beside him. This is Ethan, Tyler said gently. The little girl studied my face. Then she asked a question that nearly shattered me. Are you the man in Mommy's pictures? I felt tears fill my eyes. Rachel had kept pictures of me. All those years. I swallowed hard. Yes. Lily nodded slowly. Mommy used to look at those pictures when she was sad. My chest tightened. I couldn't even speak. Then she surprised me. She took 2 small steps forward and held out the stuffed rabbit. My name is Lily. I laughed through tears. My name is Ethan. She smiled. And in that moment, something inside me changed forever. For the first time, she wasn't just a photograph. She was real. After Olivia took Lily inside for cookies and juice, Tyler and I remained on the porch. The silence between us felt enormous. Finally, I looked at him. Why? His eyes lowered. I know. No, you don't. My voice shook. Why didn't you tell me? He looked like he had been waiting years for that question. Because Rachel made me promise. I clenched my jaw.
You should have broken that promise. I wanted to.
His voice cracked. More times than I can count. For the first time, I saw genuine pain in his eyes. The day you caught us kissing, I thought the truth would come out. He laughed bitterly.
I actually hoped it would. I stared at him. What? Rachel had already planned everything. He rubbed his face.
She believed making you hate her was the only way to free you. That was insane. I know. Then why help her? His eyes filled with tears. Because she was dying, Ethan. The anger inside me weakened. I couldn't watch her suffer alone. Neither of us spoke for several moments. Then Tyler said something I never expected. I deserve your hatred. I looked at him. No. You lost 6 years because of us. His voice trembled. You missed your daughter growing up. He paused. And every birthday, every Christmas, every school play, I had to watch Lily ask questions about the father she never knew. I closed my eyes. The pain in his voice sounded real. Because it was.
He had suffered too, not in the same way, but he had.
Then he handed me a folded envelope.
Rachel wanted you to have this after you met Lily.
I opened it carefully. Inside was one final letter. Rachel's final letter. The handwriting was weaker than before, as if writing it had taken tremendous effort. Ethan, if you're reading this, then you've met Lily. I've spent years wondering whether you would hate me forever. The truth is, I hated myself long before you ever could. I thought I was protecting you. Instead, I stole years from both of you. That will always be my greatest regret. If you can, forgive Tyler. Everything was my decision. He carried my secret because I asked him to. And please don't waste another day being angry. Life is shorter than we think. I learned that too late. Love Lily. Tell her about me. Tell her I never stopped loving her father. And tell her that every choice I made came from love, even the terrible ones. Rachel. By the time I finished reading, I was crying. So was Tyler. For years, I had imagined confronting him, yelling, blaming, demanding answers. But standing there, none of that felt important anymore. Too much time had already been lost. I looked at my brother, the brother I had hated for 6 years. The brother who had carried a secret that was slowly destroying him. Then I stepped forward and hugged him. For a moment, he froze. Then he hugged me back. Neither of us said a word. We didn't need to. Some wounds can't be erased, but they can begin to heal. Over the next year, my life changed in ways I never expected. Lily became part of our family. The first few months weren't easy. We were strangers learning how to become father and daughter. But children have a remarkable way of opening doors adults keep locked. Little by little, we built something real. We went to parks, movies, school events, bedtime story nights. Every moment reminded me of what I'd lost, but also of what I still had. And eventually, Lily started calling me Dad. The first time she said it, I had to leave the room because I couldn't stop crying. Olivia welcomed Lily with more love than I could have imagined. Emma adored having an older sister. And for the first time in many years, our family felt complete. One summer afternoon, nearly 2 years after Lily came into my life, we visited Rachel's grave together. Lily placed flowers beside the headstone. Then she looked up at me. Mommy made mistakes, didn't she? I smiled sadly. Yes. Big mistakes? Very big mistakes. She thought about that. Then asked, did you forgive her? I looked at Rachel's name engraved in stone. The woman I loved, the woman who broke my heart, the woman whose choices changed all our lives. And finally, I nodded. Yes. Lily smiled. I think she hoped you would. As we walked away, I realized something important. Forgiveness isn't about pretending the pain never happened. It's about refusing to let that pain control the rest of your life. For years, I believed betrayal had destroyed my future. What I didn't understand was that holding on to hatred was hurting me far more than the betrayal itself. The truth arrived too late to change the past, but it arrived in time to save the future. And if there's one lesson I've learned from everything that happened, it's this. Sometimes the people who hurt us the most are carrying battles we cannot see. That doesn't excuse their choices, but understanding the truth can free us from anger. Because life is too short to spend it imprisoned by resentment, and sometimes the greatest gift we can give ourselves is the courage to forgive and move forward.